Electricity is forever winding light up into hot spheres surrounded by cold cube wave fields of space, and likewise sequentially unwinding them for rewinding. While winding them into compressed light masses, they are simultaneously unwinding to a lesser extent. Conversely, while unwinding, they are simultaneously rewinding to a lesser extent. Every opposite of a pair charges in excess of its discharge for one half of its cycle. It then discharges in excess of its charging. Life and death are good examples. Life charges a body in excess of its discharge for one half of its cycle, and death discharges in its excess for the other half. Likewise, the sun charges the earth during half of its 24-hour cycle in excess of its charge on the night side of the planet. The night side sequentially becomes the day side. The discharge of night then reverses to a preponderance of charge. The father-mother principle is fundamental in every expression, and both are simultaneously manifested in every expression, each being preponderant sequentially during half of each cycle. The father principle multiplies light into density and high potential. The mother principle divides it into vapors and gases of lower potential. Light is thus multiplied and divided into suns and planets surrounded by space. The matter of earth is the same as the matter of heaven, but with one difference: volume. And therein lies the secret of the universal pulse beat. Space is a division of solidity into tenuity. It is also a multiplication of volume at the expense of potential. Interchange between these two unbalanced opposites is the basis of all motion in this rhythmic universe. Sex mates are two equal halves of one. They never can be one. They can never unite, for they are the opposites of motion. Opposites of motion can cease to be, and by thus ceasing to be, they can give birth to the other opposite, but they never can be other than opposites. Opposites born each other. Compression can never expand, but expansion is born from compression. Conversely, expansion can never compress, but compression is born from expansion. They can interchange with their opposites with every pulse beat, and they do. Each opposite is born from the other. Each pulse beat brings each opposite nearer to voidance of each, and complete interchange into the other. It becomes the other sequentially at the halfway point in its cycle, but it is still an opposite. Opposites oppose. They never perform any other office than to oppose. Opposition alone produces the ideal of separateness in a universe of one inseparable thing. The opposite of water is water vapor. Water is a compressed condition. It is the father light. Water vapor is the expanded condition of water. It is the mother light. They are two halves of one which never can be one. The mother light unfolds from the father light. The father light refolds the water vapor into water. Each has been born from the other. Each is the other, but they can never unite to become one. All ideal of mind is thus divided into sex pairs of opposite mates. Matter is divided into solids and gases. The gases are the solids outwardly bound toward the heavens. Solids are the same gases inwardly bound toward gravity. Heat and cold are opposites. Inwardly bound light waves generate heat from cold by compressing cold. Outwardly bound light rays degenerate heat into cold by expanding heat. It is said that cold is less heat. One might as well say that east is less west. East and west are two opposites, just as cold and heat are opposites. Opposite sex conditions born each other. Matter and space likewise are sex mates. Each has become what each is by opposing the other to attain the appearance of separateness. Then each interchange with each by breathing into and out of each other until space disintegrates matter and becomes what the other was. Space disintegrates suns and earths by the way of equators and generates them by the way of poles. Heat generated by cold by the way of poles is radiated by the way of equators. Suns thus turn inside out. Cold bores black holes right through their poles, and great suns become rings like those in Lyra and other ring nebula which are plentiful in the heavens. All matter is generated by the degeneration of its opposite. Likewise, all generated matter is sequentially degenerated by the generation of its opposite. Compression in matter is balanced by an equal evacuation in space. Every unbalanced condition in nature must be balanced by an equal opposite. All borrowings from the bank of nature are debited with an amount equal to the credit extended, just as money borrowed from one man's bank is debited and credited. Desire for rest follows desire for motion. The two are always two, never can become one, although the desire for oneness is with each during the entirety of its cycle. It is this desire for oneness which causes them to interchange. When credits and debits are balanced by interchange with each other, they cease to be. They do not become one. When electrical opposites thus cancel each other out by interchange of their plus and minus conditions, they do not neutralize each other, or, as commonly believed, they cease to be. Motion cannot be neutralized. There is no exception to this process of nature. All ideal is recorded electrically in equal pairs of opposite expressions. Each of the pair cancels the other out in cyclic periodicities. Each then becomes what the other was. Generation of any ideal exceeds radiation during the first half of its cycle. Radiation then exceeds generation for the second half of the cycle. Both of these simulations of the ideal as expressed by motion disappear. The ideal still exists, however. The ideal is at rest in its seed, from which it can again appear in form of ideal. The 2 points of rest, which are the fundamentals of every cycle, are the point of beginning at the wave axis and the point of interchange between positive and negative opposites at the wave amplitude. At these 2 rest points, motion has utterly ceased. It has not been neutralized into a condition of rest. Now, words from God about this. The one light of me desires to be two. Two sensed warring divisions of the one spring forth from my unsensed oneness into an imagined space. Two voiding lights of my one white light spring from their rest in unity to find rest of their own, but find not two, but one. For two rests there cannot be in my universe of one. For I say that each light seeks rest in each, where wave of my pulsed thinking meets wave. And at that mutual point of rest, each voids each in the one, from which another two spring into their mirrored infinities. Hear thou me when I say that all things which flow from me are sex-conditioned pairs of two, even to the cosmic dust of space, which formeth new worlds, yea, fires of hot, and even to the heart of blazing sun.